Hello, all you beautiful people out there. Welcome back to the Esports Rewind podcast. Last episode was our 100th episode, and we didn't do anything to celebrate.
I had no idea. So.
I forgot until it went live. But we appreciate all of you guys stopping by, all of you guys and gals who leave comments down below. We really do appreciate you, which we take this first segment to read those out, and it really does help with the algorithm and such. So I saw one. It actually said, and I lost it, of course, as I brought this up. He says, "I love watching these podcasts while I'm playing games. Thanks for making this great content." To which, I don't know how to pronounce your name, guy or gal. Thank you for watching. Do you have one already pulled up?
Yep. Mine says, "The stash looks sweet. Keep it going."
And I'm sure that person was talking about my stash from last episode.
Absolutely.
We hope you guys all enjoy. Lots of crazy things to talk about at length. So let's get it rolling. And first and foremost, I've been looking forward to this podcast all week to talk a bit more at length at probably the biggest esports-related news we saw this past week, that being reports now saying that, yes, HECZ and OpTic are trying to leave NRG. It was actually brought out there by Dexerto, and something that a lot of people probably saw coming for quite some time, ever since HECZ was kind of saved by NRG and Andy Miller. They were co-CEOs over there for quite some time. Over the past many months, their interactions have stopped completely. Their NRG Duo podcast also stopped. And to what a lot of people probably aren't surprised by, him wanting to leave NRG and take back OpTic Chicago and their COD spot and OpTic Gaming and maybe pursue with different partners, finally expanding into other esports.
I don't know where it's going to go in the long run, but we definitely saw this coming for a while. I would say, like you said, there's so many signs and just kind of obvious, and you can't really blame the guy, but like HECZ finally gets OpTic back. Of course, it's going to be his main focus, right? Like he's going to want to go do his own thing with his OpTic guys and like build their brand and be separate from NRG. And so I can't blame the guy, but it's also a point of contention, I would say. Like, we don't know who's really, like, is there a wrong side to this? Are they both right? Are they both right? Like, we just don't know.
Yeah, there are a lot of course, unanswered questions, which I'm sure we'll break down more in the past. And I think, though, right when that move was made, right when NRG announced him as a co-CEO, bringing him on with, at the time, the Chicago Huntsmen, then, of course, now became OpTic Chicago, a lot of people out there were questioning, at what point is this going to become an issue, right? You have OpTic underneath or alongside NRG. Those are two different esports organizations. Right. OpTic was never going to be able to expand outside of Call of Duty League as long as they're a part of NRG, or so you'd think. I think it would become an issue. All of a sudden, you have both these brands who want to be, let's say there's a new esport out there. Let's say it is Valorant, to which NRG did enter. What if OpTic wants to be a part of that? Whose name do you put on it? It was bound to be an issue, and of course, that issue has now come to front, where it's HECZ wanting to leave, and there is that giant lingering question of, once this does happen, does Andy Miller, does he want to sell that CDL spot back to HECZ, which they went in on together? Or, with the CDL expanding, does NRG keep that spot? HECZ finds another one. There are so many questions. And then to your point, very lastly, yeah, it can be kind of scary to say that, is this HECZ kind of making a harsh move against Andy? Is this kind of a sucky thing to do for OpTic to do to NRG? I think that's a fair question to ask.
I think something we talked about a lot personally was, if this whole Call of Duty thing for NRG, was that just like an offshoot for them of like, hey, like, we're going to bring in HECZ, and like, obviously he's a COD guy, like he knows Call of Duty scene very well. We're going to bring him in. He's going to run stuff for that, and like, we can trust him with that. But now that he's got OpTic back and he wants to split up, like, is NRG going to be chill with that and going to be like, hey, it's fine. Like, obviously we have a ton of branches and everything. Like, NRG is probably one of the most widespread
They
orgs.
are so underrated for esports.
Literally just everywhere. They're in everything. They've got their hand in every basket. And so maybe they just say, like, they want to be on good terms with HECZ. And they're like, hey, let's figure this out from a business point of view. Can we split up in a fair way? Let you guys do your Call of Duty thing. We'll leave the Call of Duty scene, because that's not really our main gig anyways at this point. And so to see where that ends up going and what HECZ ends up doing, I think both sides have a great pitch to other business partners. Like, why wouldn't someone want to go in with Andy on NRG and like help, fill that spot, maybe that whatever HECZ was filling, and add value that HECZ was adding to NRG? And then maybe HECZ, I mean, he has OpTic. Like, who wouldn't want to invest in
Who would not
OpTic?
want to partner? To which we've heard there apparently is a long list, or at least a decent list out there about people who want to partner with OpTic in their future, which just makes a lot of sense. And then very lastly, if you're NRG, do you let OpTic, do you let HECZ go for a decent price, or do you say, if you want out, you're going to have to pay like above market for the remainder of this spot, right? But then it's also the question, does NRG want to stay? Do they actually want to stay in Call of Duty League compared to their Overwatch League spot, which they have the most prominent roster in the SF Shock? Or is this kind of like, is this good timing for Andy? Does he want to get out of Call of Duty? Because viewership, to be quite frank, without OpTic, is not stellar for CDL either. So it is really interesting. Obviously, a lot of unanswered questions. I am sure we'll find out more from both sides. But as of right now, OpTic and HECZ want to leave NRG and do their own thing. We will hopefully find out more details of what exactly that means. And a hot topic of discussion last week was a Twitch lawsuit. We talked about Phantom Lord. This week, all around Twitch, well, it's kind of a different vibe. That being cancel culture. Took off all over YouTube, all over Twitter, all over Twitch, unfortunately. So DisguisedToast was the main figure of this. And then if you guys were on Twitter as well, you saw Carl Jacobs, Ice Poseidon also getting in on, well, the unfortunate state of what is cancel culture. And man, some of these stands and fans are just people you don't want to mess with and you don't want to get on their bad side.
It seems like it thrives on Twitter, to be perfectly honest. Like, more than anywhere else, I feel like these stands and cancel culture are living on Twitter because they're pulling clips, they're having these full discussions with the rest of the community and saying, like, we've got to cancel this person for this, this, and this, and then eventually the creator will see it, but it seems like it lives on Twitter for the most part. But yes, DisguisedToast and Carl both had people coming after them for a wide range of things. Like Carl's
was mainly him being a fan
So
at one
weird.
point of Ice Poseidon when Ice Poseidon knew just about everybody and everybody was watching him.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he's apologizing for being a fan of Ice Poseidon years ago, but he's apologizing years later.
And it's like he showed up in one of his streams or something when he was IRL streaming, because that's what Ice Poseidon used to do
Stream
a lot.
sniping
Right.
is what Ice called it.
And so that was super weird, and then that was followed by Toast getting canceled for some, which we've admitted, edgy things that he's said. Like, he's even said, like, my humor is a little bit edgy, and, like, I get it's not for everyone.
Yeah, they weren't, to be honest, they were not jokes that I would make.
Right. And, like, dangerous jokes, but at the same time, we ended up seeing a ton of people come forward to defend him for those jokes of, like, hey, like, if you're upset with these jokes, like, just know, like, he really is supportive of this, and this in real life. Like, we're great friends with him. We know him well, and he doesn't deserve to be canceled for these sort of things. But just the amount of, like, backlash he was getting was pretty crazy, and then his full, like, page response.
Yeah, I can't imagine waking up one morning and all of a sudden there's about 24 tweets in a single thread.
Right.
Pinpointing a lot of details that I assume that Toast, yes, he did certainly say some things. I assume he never thought all of those things would be compiled into a single post, because any one of those pieces, I would say, on their own has obviously a lot less weight, but all of a sudden you're waking up to an overwhelming amount of claims to have to address, which he did. And still people fall on different sides of that. But yeah, it just the last week alone and that few day span just really showed man, and then you have a lot of streamers out there responding saying, you're not getting canceled. Keep doing your own thing. This is a momentary thing, which I agree with. We've seen so many crazy things, esports, gaming, streaming, you name it. We have seen so many crazy claims. You survived a week, and generally something else is going to happen where
Right.
you're going to be put on the back burner, and just keep doing your own thing. The only thing at the end of the day, we can hope that Toast is learning from this, that he is changing his ways to maybe being a lot, which he has, as many have, to become a lot less edgy and hopefully offend a lot less people. But yeah, it was crazy to see this past week.
I'd say there's two sides for me, right? There's the side of, like, yes, you are one of the most popular creators, so you've got to be careful of what you say. That does make sense completely. You've got kids watching you. You don't know how edgy joke, an offshoot of something might long-term affect someone's way of thinking. Like, you don't know. But then on the other side, it's like, it is a joke, and you're not getting actually canceled. Like, you are a good person, and if you know you're a good person, all your friends know who you are. You're not making that bad of a joke, and it's obviously a joke. Like, who are these people on Twitter that are probably, like, 13-year-olds, getting upset about it and, like, pretty pissed off of, like, how dare you say that? And like you said, at the end of the day, they're fine. They're not losing their platform. They'll be all right.
Yeah, I can't remember the last person that got canceled that has actually been canceled. And
Right.
I guess we'll see who the next one is, because it's only a matter of time with this this climate of cancel culture. So what do you guys think about it? A couple Twitch streamers under fire have now responded and apologized. And this next one's going to continue to be a bit of a whirlwind, so a warning for all of you guys. We are talking about Sinatraa, a possible return. There are so many hairy details out there, and of course a lot of nuance in this ongoing situation, of which in the past week alone there have been so many shall I say, maybe little updates to the situation. If you guys want a brief TLDR, I will try my best, but there are several videos trying to catch you up on this complicated circumstance, of which, at the point of us recording, investigation still ongoing. We do not know the other side, that being Sinatra's response, besides what he has said or hinted at on stream. So you have the initial accusations against Sinatraa. He, of course, is suspended from the Sentinels roster. Ongoing investigation from both Riot Games as well as his team, that being Sentinels. Sentinels go on to, well, still be the most popular name in at least North American Valorant, if not the entire space. They qualify for Iceland, to which right now we think TENS will be going with them. And then it's Cleo, seemingly out of nowhere, but also the same day where Sinatraa returns to a public stream. He actually returns to being on a pro player stream. They confirm it's Sinatraa. He is playing Valorant again, to which Cleo, the original accuser, her original accusations still do stand. She posts some, what she calls some additional claims about some things that Sinatraa may or may not have done, as well as providing context to the initial clip, her main piece of evidence against him. And to which we have now found out she has actually taken down that post several days later. Sinatraa has taken several times to stream, whether it be on his current girlfriend's stream or other people or pro player streams, to say he's coming back soon. He calls those accusations a lie. And now we are here today with another kind of update where he's actually ended up in a game with Shazam, which is still kind of one of his teammates. It was solo queue apparently, but they kind of have a conversation back and forth, which has so many people out there very, very confused. A small update as well. I know it's I'm sorry, guys, it's complicated.
So many.
Was his current girlfriend also taking back her claims that he could be back in the next week or so? She took that back as well. So I'm lost.
I know there's so much going on, and we really don't know what is actually happening behind the scenes, like where things are landing with. Like, did someone make her take down that post, or did she do that by her own?
Was it for legal reasons?
Right.
Was something in there that should not be?
Exactly. And so who knows what's actually going to happen? Does his girlfriend really know when he's coming back? Does he really know when he's coming back? And, like, it's just so complicated. And even if, like, the one thing I'll say, and I'm not speculating on whether he is cleared from these things or not, but say, like, at the end of the day, it does kind of suck that, I mean, he's missing Iceland for all of this. Like, it's a very serious allegation. Say that he does get cleared, you ended up missing the first ever biggest tournament where you really could have shown up and, like, made your whole career out of that one tournament, the first ever Valorant tournament.
Yeah, definitely would be if he were to be cleared. That would probably be something he would like to talk more about,
right,
if that's what it comes to. I would say in terms of all eyes are certainly still on this case. I don't think if he is cleared, I don't think he'll have problem bouncing back and being just as popular of a figure, because Sentinels have done a swell job in his absence, especially with the acquiring of TENS. But yeah, I think from my personal opinion, and again, these investigations will tell much more than we can to all of you guys, so please, it's still a very serious thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's almost tough to watch so many people interact with him as if nothing happened when this is still ongoing, and it's very, very serious. I think with all the pro player reactions of playing with him, it's hard for people not to think, okay, like is the investigation maybe going his way? Because you have people that are very clearly excited to be playing with him still in the professional space, despite these ongoing investigations of some very serious matters. So I don't blame people for thinking, okay, maybe there's some hope on that front, but we do not know. It's just wild, the whole thing ongoing. And of course, even what Sinatraa has been willing to say, like he has said it in Discord, he has said it in voice comms, he's called it a lie, he's called the fact that he took a break from the game due to complications. He has said several times he will be back soon. Like that's a statement. That is a very big statement to make with very little words included. And I will say as well, it's not the best look to post additional claims and take them down days later. We don't know the reasons as to why, but I don't blame anyone for thinking maybe this is going slightly in his favor.
I was going to say,
based on public perception.
It's a dangerous game that he's playing if he does not get cleared from this. Like, why is he interacting with so many people?
Think about it from his shoes. Is it really dangerous? I mean, is there anything worse than getting found guilty? If he is found guilty, no one's going to go, oh, he said he would be back soon. Like,
right.
You're done either way.
True.
If you're found guilty. So I guess that's where I come from on that. But certainly, maybe it's more of a dangerous game, the fact that he's swaying opinions
That's
like
what
pro players
it
in ours.
seems like he's like presenting himself, which I guess you can't blame
What does he
him.
have to lose?
Right. He's presenting himself as if he is doing, like, as if this is going his way at this point, which it will be interesting to see in the long run. Again, of course, neither one of us have any idea what's going to happen. We're not making any claims on it, but in the long run, like, we don't know what's going to come out. And so him presenting himself as if things are going well for him can be a dangerous game, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and it certainly complicates things all the more, and we will keep you all posted on the ongoing situation. What this means for the investigation, we simply do not know, but Sinatraa time and time again has hinted a return. We'll see if it actually happens. And I guess we could call this a controversial statement only because Pokey herself called it one even in the midst of saying it. If you guys missed the clip or the video, should be out by now on the channel around the good old sub counter. I've not heard a talk like this in quite some time, but Twitch streamers and streamers in general, it's always been a thing, showing their sub count on screen, to which Pokimane had some words to say about.
Funny to see her, like you said initially, be like, I hate making controversial statements. And it's like, well, you know what you're saying, and you're literally admitting that you know what you're saying, so I don't know.
Once she said the word controversial, I believe is the exact word you have to know it's going to be clipped.
Right.
You are Pokimane. You are probably under the biggest limelight since Ninja about anything you do, which sucks at times for sure. Once she said that, you had to figure this was going to be passed all over Reddit, all over Twitter.
It literally, as soon as she finished saying it, you can see, if you watch a little bit, her chat's like, clipped, we clipped it, and she's like, okay, great, like it's already been clipped. But yeah, she does come forward to say, in relation to people having their sub counts on stream, that she feels like it's just a little bit greedy and a bit of a marketing technique to get people to, I think she says, squeeze the last bit of money out of people.
And I believe, is she only talking about the ones who have the sub count with the additional goal? So let's say, because I know Nick Merckx for a time, I don't know if he still has it, Nick Merckx and Ninja for a time, I think Tfue for a time. I don't keep up to date if they keep on doing these, but they show their sub count, but they don't do the sub count with the goal. So it doesn't say 42,000 of 45,000. Is that what she's calling out, or is she calling out a counter in general?
She's calling out the goal and having the counter of
the sub count goal.
Yes, I have 50,000 subs right now.
I just want some clarity here, because
51.
She's not calling out the people who have their sub count. She's calling out people who have a high sub count with a goal as well. So if you're a low tier, mid tier streamer with 5,000 of 6,000 subs, I don't think she's calling you. I think she's calling out a few particulars on the tippity top who have 40,000 goal, 41,000. To push viewers to the extra level.
The people in chat mostly are referencing and saying, she didn't say any names, but people in chat are saying, oh, you must be talking about like Mizkif or Hassan, because these people all have, massive amounts of subs and are using this sub goal from their point of view to get more, to reach more. And then we go over to Hassan, and Hassan's like, man, I don't even know how to like our OBS doesn't let us take off the goal part of it, which we don't know. Like, on one side of it, maybe he's just a boomer and doesn't know how to do that. That's fair. Like, some people don't put in that much effort to their, like the little features on their stream.
Yeah.
Like, he might not want to put in the time to do that. Or, like, I don't know. He just might not care. He might not have thought about it that way. And, like, he says that people are going to be pissed off no matter what. Like, if he doesn't have the sub count, they're going to be like, why are you hiding it? What are you doing? Or if he does have it, they're like, why do you have your sub counter up? Like, you just want more subs. And so who knows? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly, if you guys watch a lot of our videos, I often do support Pokimane on, I think she gets a lot more harsh of a response than is due most times. So surprise, surprise, when it came to this, I just don't understand why you bring it up in the first place. It's like you're opening yourself up for an attack that you probably don't need, and I personally don't care, which is, I usually have an opinion on these kind of things, but when this clip came out, I just really don't care about whether or not you have it.
Right.
To the altar of Hassan's point, though, I've also never not seen a sub count and been like, yo, where the frick is the sub count, bro? But I'm not one of his avid viewers who might get pissed off by that. So for me, it doesn't bother me, but also, very last note for me as well, it's smart. I think if you are a diehard viewer or a frequent viewer, you enjoy seeing your streamer succeed. And so having that increment, having that number in front of you, like, let's push to this as a community, it might be a manipulative play, but people are willing to sub. So I don't know.
I'll say blanket statements are dangerous in this situation, I would say, because some people might have certain intents that other people don't. Like if you see, I think my least favorite example of this is seeing the Minecraft streamers who have a lot of kids watching them, who have, I got 3,000 subs today. This is my sub today counter. This is my sub goal. I have 3,000 today, and I'm hoping to get 20,000 total. And it's like, man, this feels kind of weird because those are most likely a younger audience. You're literally showing how many you got today and hoping the counter goes up and that sort of thing. But then other people just might not, it's just a random feature. Blanket statements are so dangerous. We never know what's really going on and who has what intent.
Yeah, I don't think I'm qualified to judge this one. I frankly don't care about sub counts. What do you guys think? Pokimane opening herself up for an attack, and the attack, well, it's slowly begun. What do you guys think? And it's some crazy news this past week that was not apparently qualified for a solo video, although I tried to pass it. That's going to be LeBron James going trending on Twitter for a ring-a-ding-ding gaming chairs, which was pretty crazy to see. It was awesome to see, actually, because, well, LeBron, obviously a top athlete the entire world, and in his mentions, which he asked on Twitter, everybody, what's the best gaming chair, to which everyone who was sponsored by a gaming chair was like, yo, trust, it's this one. I don't want to... It was Respawn.
LeBron James, check out our Respawns.
I mean, let's be honest, right? It was people who were sponsored by Mavics were saying Mavics. People sponsored by Herman, like Tim the Tatman, were saying Herman, bro, 100%. Respawn chairs. Guys, it was fun to see. I should say that. A top-notch, world-class athlete, for some reason, asking about gaming chairs, which, of course, led to the second thought of his son, Bronny, a member of FaZe Clan. How the frick can we get LeBron James involved in any way in gaming? And if it was to FaZe Clan, I think I would. I mean, frick me, that'd be crazy.
I mean, if I'm a chair company,
frick me.
At this, no, probably not. But if I am a chair company, I'm reaching out to LeBron James' team or to Bronny or someone and being like, "Yo,
I am hopping on that, man.
Let's get a custom LeBron James chair right now."
Jesus Christ.
Come on, let's work it out. I'll send you one, and we'll make 5 of them.
Yeah, like a chair that only fits men that are statured like LeBron, like a 6'5 plus, a 6'5", 250 plus chair.
I do have to wonder in this whole situation is he's got a son who's in FaZe Clan. He's a gamer, right? A streamer every once in a while. Just ask him about. I feel like he's got to know about gaming chair. He probably owns one.
I mean,
least.
Yeah. It's like, why would you take if the business part of me thinks that has to be a play, right? I mean, if there's anyone out there who can get a heck of a lot of money probably for a gaming chair sponsor, and if you're a FaZe Clan, you got to be freaking at the heels like Bronny. Like we have a gaming chair sponsor. I imagine they do. Let's get in on this, or let's make your dad a brand new co-owner.
What if next time we see a LeBron James game, instead of sitting on the bench, he's sitting in a gaming chair? They got the whole team just in gaming chairs on the bench.
Yo, honestly, though, because basketball chairs never look too comfortable on the sidelines. No. And especially for a big boy like LeBron, if he's ever sitting out, I mean, you got these 6'5", 6'8", 7'2" guys that are nearing 200-something pounds. You're right, dude.
He's on his phone during the game. He wants a comfortable
You'd have to
chair.
lock the wheels, though, because otherwise you got LeBron slide out in the court or whatever.
Hey, time out. Just slides out. I don't know. I think we could see it could be the new, evolution of basketball.
Yeah, the conspiracy man in me wants this to be a FaZe LeBron move because that's the only thing I can really tie it to. But who knows? If he does get a gaming chair sponsor, I'm sure it'll go trending, and we'll see exactly who lands LeBron James in gaming. Oh, and very lastly, we hope you guys all enjoy this one. Bill Maher, what a guy. If you guys have not been on Twitter, if you have not been on YouTube, well, you're missing out on a great clip. We had a video about this, that being Bill Maher, a TV host, a late-night show guy. I'm not sure which that or the other, having a great segment that a lot of people chewed to bits and back, that being, well, he thinks it's effing stupid that people spend time watching other people play video games on Twitch, to which the world used their brains to go, that, sir, does not make a lot of sense.
And I will say, I feel like we probably know the same amount about Bill Maher as Bill Maher knows about Twitch. So, I don't know everything about him or, what he does or anything like that. But it is ironic to see someone who is a talk show host hating on Twitch and watching people play games when it's like, man, you just sit there and talk. And isn't all of sports just people watching other people play games?
That is by far and away the most common response he did get. And this also goes for entertainment in general. You are generally, when you are wanting to be entertained, you watch something or you watch someone do something. So to whatever degree that might be, whether it's you're watching a concert or you're watching a sports game or you're watching a movie or a cooking show, whatever it is, it's typically you watching someone else do something. And so at the very, very root of his argument, it was just crazy the fact that, okay, you don't find it entertaining. It doesn't make it stupid, right? Because a lot of people out there then posting pictures of Bill Maher at baseball games, and they're like, oh, can't imagine watching grown men hit balls and being entertained by it. But some people do. And so the very root of his argument was just, it was founded in just, ugh.
And the thing is, if he had just, I don't know if someone wrote the script for him,
Yes,
most likely,
of
but
course.
like if they had just changed one little thing, and instead of saying on Twitch watching people play games, which pissed everyone off, if they had said on Twitch watching people in hot tubs, it would have been a home run. Everyone would have loved it.
Would have flipped the entire script that's
Right.
going on right now. But hey, to each their own. Not like
Yeah, we don't know. I like hot tubs are great. We love hot tubs.
to a certain
streams.
extent, yeah. I mean, do your own thing, right? There's obviously riding the line there. But it's just also, for me, when I watch the clip time and time again, the freaking fake laughter. Because I don't know anyone who watches that clip and is at home going,
So good.
like I can't imagine, but maybe that's just me. I hate that freaking fake laughter. I wish we had that in the show where every time we pause, people are just dying in the background.
Or just have a button that like every time we say something right here, it laughs, even though
Yeah.
we don't have an audience.
I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, right? We, like you said, we don't know much about Billy Boy, but we also are very biased because we come from the video game space. So we're gonna take these things very personally.
I will say there was some irony that ended up happening, right? Like right after the
Very last
situation
week.
was that the Olympics, which by the way is a massive sports competition, I think everyone knows about it, ended up wanting to sign a deal with Twitch because of the viewership that they would get from a younger audience.
Which becomes now Twitch. You're not just watching other people play video games. You are now watching other people play sports, which Bill loves.
Bill.
Who would have thought? Yeah, well, what do you guys think about that? Bill Maher hates you watching other people do anything. As per usual, we hope you guys all enjoy the Esports Rewind podcast, episode number 101D1. That's crazy we made it this far, and thank you guys so much who leave comments. If you guys want to follow us on social media, that'd be freaking dope, and we're really proud we can be in your ears. Now, speaking of ears, close your eyes, and we'll catch you back here next week. Tell them to close their eyes.
Close your eyes. Go ahead.
Keep
All
them.
right.
Keep those peepers closed.
See you later.
We're staying here.
See you later. No,
See you later.
You go away. Go. Okay, open your eyes. Bye.
Bye.
Ah!